welcome to the show. It's the first edition of the football podcast for Talking Sport podcast. I'm here, Laurence, and I'm joined here by Rhys. How you doing?
Not bad, mate. How are yourself?
I'm pretty good, yeah. So it's obviously an interesting day in football. There's
Yeah,
some mixed bags for myself and a pretty good result for yourself. So let's start with the Coventry game. What do you think of that?
good point, to be honest. Going 1-0 down. Blackburn's a tricky place to go. Got a good team. But yeah, I'm happy with the point. I'm happy to come away with the point.
Yeah, nothing more you can really ask. Blackburn are obviously a good team. They've been very unfortunate in kind of recent years. They've got good players there. It's a good core team, so it's really good for Coventry. Obviously a team a lot of people want to see do well. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's not bad.
definitely. Well, Matthew James scored for us, which is is a good signing that we managed to get for us this season. But yeah, it's a point on the road. It's a point in the right direction. 6 points clearing out of relegation. Of Rotherham, we did lose. But I think we just got to build on this now. Going forward for the last however many 10, 11 games is left.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think your chances are pretty high of staying up. It's a core of a good team there. Obviously, you'll lose that Sam McCallum on loan back to Norwich next season, isn't it?
Yes, we do. But we did get Callum O'Hare from Villa on a free this season. He was brilliant for us last season and us going up. So yeah, but McCallum's a good player. He'd be a loss, but if we stay up, then we might be able to get him for another season on loan. I don't know what the situation is there with Norwich, but you never know.
Yeah, that's the thing. You never know. It's an interesting time for obviously being a Coventry fan. Seeing them come back up. Obviously, they used to have the glory days in the past that have
Yeah,
passed, but hopefully you can come back to that. So, obviously, big news coming out of Parkhead the other day that Neil Lennon has stepped down as Celtic manager. I put up a post
yeah.
about it on our Instagram page. Go check that out if you listen. So it's John Kennedy's interim manager. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know who he is, to be honest. Never heard of him. But I don't know. Do you put him in for the end of the season, or do you find someone now ready for next season? You're the Celtic fan. What's your thoughts?
I would personally try and get someone now. Sorry if there's feedback there. The rugby's on, so the dog's barking. But I definitely try and get someone in now, like rebuild for next season. Hopefully, get a title challenge in next season. His first game
Who's
in
your
charge,
pick?
he done pretty good. My pick, I quite like to see Eddie Howe, if I'm honest. I think he's a really quite a progressive manager. Obviously, everyone knows what they can do, getting Bournemouth from the brink of
Yeah,
non-league to the Premier League.
yeah, definitely.
And now that Jason
I've
Tindall's
seen
free.
3 names thrown into the mix, which is Eddie Howe, Frank Lampard, and Martin O'Leary. What's your thoughts on those? Well, you just said Eddie Howe, but what's your thoughts on the other two?
I think that both of them are good candidates. I think Frank Lampard would be interesting. I don't know if I would want it because I think he's still too inexperienced.
Do you think that'll be a step down from Chelsea for him?
It'd be a bit of a step up because it's not really Chelsea. They're an established team, but they're not exactly a big team, if you like. Like they do well because they have money. In my
Yeah.
opinion, anyway. I don't think they're a very big club, like in terms of support. But you never know. He could come up, but it would be a weird situation. He's obviously unexperienced, and then there's the whole thing of Steven Gerrard, the boyhood Celtic fan managing Rangers, and Frank Lampard, the boyhood Rangers fan managing Celtic. Would be a pretty weird one.
Interesting old firm that would be.
Yeah, as well as the old firm would just be like Sky Sports, and the like could be all Frank Lampard
Yeah.
versus Steven Gerrard, and
They just bang on about their careers for the Premier League when they rather than focusing on the game.
yeah.
The important game, of the season. What about Martin O'Leary returning?
Not for me personally.
He's had his day there. You reckon?
Yeah. I think we saw with Neil Lennon, it's not good to come back. Sometimes you can damage your reputation.
No, I agree. Why? you left on good terms. You left with the club in a good position, and you won what he did. Why potentially ruin that with, coming back and well, look what happened to Neil Allen. It's not always, and you don't always have a better time at the second time around of coming to a club. I think Eddie Howe would be a perfect candidate for Celtic. I really do. He's young, like you just said. Look what he did with Bournemouth, brink of bloody non-league, and then takes them all the way up to the Premier League. So for me, if I was a Celtic fan, I'd want Eddie Howe.
Yeah, definitely. Also, people throwing in the names to bring in Roberto Martinez. I don't see him leaving Belgium, but I think it'd be good.
I can't see him leaving Belgium.
I know there's a lot of speculation about his job because he's not won anything with such a good team, but at the same time, I think that all depends on how the Euros goes.
Yeah, but you don't play football that often for international football.
Exactly.
Steady. I think that's a bit harsh. Saying he hasn't won anything when the Euros was cancelled last year anyway.
Yeah.
Two, you play a tournament every 2 years, and you've only got one chance.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit harsh to question his career, his managerial future on he hasn't won nothing. Like, how long's he been? He's only had the Euros to have a go at, hasn't he?
Yes, the Euros and the World Cup, I think. I think he was, yeah. I think that's it's from Belgium. I think for international managers, you have to give them their credit that they don't have a lot of time in the players to bring something out of that. But I know a lot of Belgium fans now are kind of questioning him a bit. But yeah, so that's obviously dependent there on how the Euros goes. And then also people saying Steve Clarke, obviously after the Euros for Scotland, to come take the Celtic job. I don't see that happening. Mostly because he's stated before that he wants to he left Scotland to be a player at Chelsea to get away from the whole sectarianism stuff.
Do you think whoever comes in next needs a clear out and start again, or do you think they've got a good enough squad there now just maybe add a 1 or 2 to push for next season?
I think it needs to be a complete rebuild. I can see say 15 players coming in and out. I think it's going to be a big rebuild because obviously players want to leave. I think you've got a good foundation there. Players like David Turnbull, who from what people have seen of him, he's a player that could play wherever he wanted. I think in the future, he's a brilliant player. He's just 20, back from a serious injury, and he's just scoring goals for fun as a midfielder. Last season, not last season, because he was out last season, the season before when he was with Motherwell at 18, he scored 10 goals from the midfield area. He's a very creative player. I just think he's a brilliant player and he could move on to high levels. You've also got players like Ismaila Soro there, who's shown his worth. His form dipped a little bit, but that's to be expected. You've got good players there. Then you've also got the kind of older players. You've got your James Forrest, who's come back from injury. You've got your kind of established players like Christopher Julian, who's also out in injury at centre-back. I don't think he'll leave. You've got Callum McGregor, the captain. You have a strong foundation there. Then you've got a lot of young players coming through, which unfortunately, even if I say that, I think a lot of them are going to leave. I think Karamoko Dembele is definitely going to leave because he's not really got a chance. But to be fair, I don't think he could cut it in the SPFL. I think it's too physical a league for him because he's 5'6" and he's dead skinny. So as much as he's a big prospect, I don't think he would cut it in the league right now. You've also got players like Cameron Harper who are in talks with New York Red Bulls about a move there. And you've got a few other players that I think could leave, unfortunately. But there is still players there that could make the step up and that we've seen are able to do it when we had that Dubai COVID crisis. So I think there is definitely a core there that can build for next season, but I can see a lot of new players coming in and a lot of players leaving.
Fair enough. So we'll move on to Swansea.
Oh, can we not?
Breaking past Coventry in the week. And I say that lightly because a few reports I read that Coventry were the better team on Wednesday. But you come in today with you can call it a 7-side derby if you want to get to Bristol City. Nigel Pearson, the new Bristol City manager, and they turn up and win 3-1. What's your thoughts?
Obviously, as a Swansea fan, bitterly disappointed. It just wasn't good enough. Losing 3-1 to Bristol City. Okay, fair enough. Nigel Pearson, great coach. He is a manager that I really rate. and I think that he can turn their fortunes around. And I think that's
Mhm.
shown today that he knows how to set up a team.
Yeah.
Like obviously since the Man City game, Swansea haven't been the same team. Like its kind of momentum and confidence has been knocked a bit. But I think we can bounce back from this and still mount a promotion hope. I do think that we can do that. I think it wasn't as good as it should have been, and we do expect more from the team. But at the same time, Jamal Lowe and Andre Ayew just look absolutely shattered, and they shouldn't just be starting them. I think players like Morgan Whittaker and Liam Cullen should come in as rotation players and get a game every now and then.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what they're there for, isn't it? Rotation's important in, well, especially at this stage of the season where you need a last push for, playoff for survival. So I think rotation at this time, I think you need it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is just we need to bring in these players, just try and get something working because the two up top they just do look so tired and they're not getting the rest that I think they require. So I think it's sad to see, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I think we just need to move on from that. Obviously, as my accent shows, I live up in Scotland, but obviously I feel very much, as you can see by the top, I feel very much Welsh. And coming from the area near the border, it does kind of hurt a bit when Bristol win.
Well, it does help well, Watford did lose today, which did help in terms of you haven't really lost ground on some of the teams above. Norwich do play tomorrow against Wickham.
Mhm.
You can only see really one outcome with that, with Wickham rooted to the bottom of the table. So
Yeah,
can
I
you
can fend
safely
my goal.
say can you safely say Norwich will go up as champions?
I think they will go up as champions. Yeah, I think there was a chance that Swansea had to go up as champions in the last couple of weeks, but we've blown that.
That's because you beat Norwich at home, didn't you, on a Friday night a few weeks ago?
Yep, 2-0.
Um,
Very, very good game. It was
yeah,
just
yeah,
before the Man City game. We lost the Man City game, then Norwich lost again, Brentford lost, Watford lost. We
yeah,
had 2 games in hand, and just the momentum just died. We had our chance. Obviously, we had the game against I think Sheffield Wednesday postponed because their
yeah,
pitch had frozen over. So we did lose that there. But see if we had just hit the ground running, kept it going, and beat the teams there, we could have had a chance of winning the whole league. But I think we're
yeah, yeah.
looking at. I'm optimistically, I want us to obviously go in second and go automatically up. But if this
Yeah.
form continues, I think the playoffs is going to be how we go up.
So yeah, I agree. I think you need to get points in quick now in order to have a chance. You definitely need to win the games in hand.
Yeah,
100% need to win those. But we could be looking at a South Wales derby for the playoffs.
we could. It'd be interesting. I know, obviously, Cardiff are a bit resurgent this now, but I'm confident of our ability to beat them. We've already beat them twice this season, I think. So
That's
I'm
what
not.
when that's Mick McCarthy wasn't in charge though.
I know, but he's not that. He's not that good. I just don't like. I've watched him in previous managerial jobs, and I think he's good at getting this bounce at the start, but I don't think he's a long-term investment from Cardiff fans. Like he just failed out in Cyprus with Apoel
Yeah,
Nicosia, so I don't
yeah,
think that was a good appointment. But you never know how it goes. I know there is a big campaign going on just now between Swans and Cardiff fans to kind of during the game, the South Wales derby coming up to have like kind of a unified front against like racist abuse and stuff like that after the Yandanda incident.
yeah,
So I think that's something to really look forward to in the game, just like as a kind of fan bases coming together against something as evil and horrible as racism. So I think it'll be an interesting derby there. But I think we
no,
could see them in
I
the
agree.
playoffs. I think, yeah, but I think we still have a chance of going up, but you
I
never
totally
know.
agree. But it's your games in hand is going to show whether you do or not.
Now, Blackburn and Sheffield Wednesday, so they are winnable games, in my opinion, anyway.
Oh, come on, Blackburn.
Thought you would be in a good mood with them today. So,
I'm sure
obviously,
Ricky, you can have that argument with Ricky then.
yeah. So obviously your team in Liverpool, you've got Sheffield United tomorrow, who are not having the best of times, to put it mildly. So what do you think of that game? Obviously, you guys aren't in great form. Do you think you'll win that game?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Well, we should. I think. I still think our front three is the best in the Premier League. I know they haven't been firing this season, and people's going to think, "What's he on about?" But given over the last 18 months, 2 years, they've been unstoppable. And Salah, he's still banging in. I think he's got 20 odd goals in all competitions this season. And we're still not playing the best. So I think our front three will be too strong. Well, yeah, I know you've got to keep them out as well as score, but they don't offer much up front. I don't think. Hence why they are bottom, because they haven't been scoring. So yeah, they are home, Sheffield United, but I can see us winning it. That's no disrespect to Sheffield United, but I think this will be the game that will hopefully contain our fortunes.
Yeah. Also, I would expect Liverpool to win it. I don't know if I'd agree with the best front three in the league. I think Salah's a fantastic player, and I rate Mane, but I'm not the biggest fan of Roberto Firmino, if I'm honest. I don't think he offers you guys much, and I think you should look at a better option for more out-and-out centre forward.
Oh, hopefully Diego Jota will be back.
Yeah.
He's had a better season than Firmino, and he's a good player, Diego Jota. He's come in and he's got that trick after the first few games, and he had that injury, which is a bit of a loss. But yeah, I just think that we're just going to hopefully we'll just be too strong for them going forward. They won't do much, but depends what defense we put out. So Firmino could play in defense, yeah, we never know.
Yeah. Obviously, had a big injury blow the other day there, so that must have been quite hard to watch.
Yeah, it was. And he's a good player. For me, I don't think he should be in defence anyway. I think that's how he's part of our midfield. And he can control the game so much more in the midfield than what he can at the back. Yeah, we've had no choice but to play him there, but he's missing our midfield massively.
How long do you think it is till the under-10s get called up for defence?
What's that, sorry?
How long do you think it is till the under-10s get called up for defence?
Oh, Jesus, I don't know. They could play tomorrow, you never know. I'm sure there's an under-16. I thought there's a 6'4" under-16s lurking around in the reserve somewhere that could probably put up a task. But we'll have to wait and see. It's quite a good day of football tomorrow. It's Chelsea Man United as well, which would be a good watch.
Yeah, definitely. So do you think, obviously looking at the who will win the Premier League this season, I don't think Liverpool are in the race. Would you agree with that?
Man City's going to win it.
Man City, yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer. They have £350 million worth of players on the bench.
Yeah.
And it's just, they got so much depth. And yeah, okay, you could say they're buying the league, but if you've got the money, then they're going to buy the players.
See, Pep made a good point the other day, if I'm honest, where he said, he came out criticising people saying that Man City buy the league, they just, all this money and everything. But he made the good point that that's always been the way it is in football. Think of your Barcelonas, your Chelseas, Liverpool, Man United, all these big teams. All of them, I know I just called Chelsea a big team and I said they weren't a big team earlier on. I meant big and money-wise. You say these big teams, they've always dominated because they have the money. And I don't think it's any different with Man City just because they didn't have money before. Because there would have been a time that Man United, Barcelona, Real Madrid weren't rich. So I do take his point there, and I think it is a fair one. Because I think City fans get unfairly labelled as plastic fans all the time. I feel that is quite unfair to them.
Then what if our Newcastle takeover had happened?
Yeah.
They would have had a bottomless pit of money. They would have brought everyone in they could have. And then Newcastle would be thrown in the mix, maybe win the league. Okay, it didn't happen. But, you've got all these foreign investors with so much money that want to invest in football. Like I said, PSG, they had no money a couple of years ago, and now look how much they paid God knows how much for Neymar, and whoever, and Mbappe they brought in, and whoever else. Like I say, with Barcelona, Barcelona aren't going to money anymore. They've just on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
But you're right. Money buys players, and Man City have the money to buy the players. That's just, and thing is, the difference is Man United and Man City. Man United are a global brand.
Yeah,
They will sell shirts in China, America. They'll sell shirts all over the world because everyone knows who Manchester United are. Man City haven't got that because they haven't been around that long. Well, they have been around that long, but they haven't been on the radar that long compared to what Man United does to be a global success in terms of shirt sales and things like that. So United will always have money just on that region.
yeah, definitely. It begs the question with all that money, how are they doing so poorly? But yeah, I think Man City will win the league. I don't think there's any question with that. They won again today against West Ham, so another 3 points on the board.
Yeah. And that's United and Tottenham tomorrow. And Leicester could play tonight. Still haven't played yet. So what does that say?
I think Leicester are a dark horse for it, that they could clinch it, but I don't see it happening.
Oh, I can't see it happening. I wouldn't surprise me if they finish second.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue with that or be upset with that because Brendan Rodgers again, he's doing well at a club again, but they haven't got money, and look what they're doing.
Yeah, fair. I think it's just they've obviously Jamie Vardy is their talisman, and he's a very loyal football player, so he knows that they gave him a chance when no one else would. Like he's even said, he won't leave because Leicester gave him a chance
Yeah, nobody
when
else
no one
wanted
would.
him, so
Mhm.
yeah, totally agree.
So as they've
Nelly,
just invested in the right ways. They've got in a brilliant manager.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's all. Yeah, and that's what they've done. But who's going down? West Brom won today. Brighton lost.
West Brom, Fulham, and Sheffield United.
You think that's your bottom three?
Yeah. Fulham could escape it, maybe. But I think definitely Sheffield United, not
Yeah,
a chance in hell of staying up. And it's sad to see because I actually do quite like Sheffield United. I think they have a good fan base, but I can't see them staying up. I think that might be what's best for them, going back down to the Championship, kind of give those players that boost to come back.
yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree. Sometimes you need to go down just to rebuild yourself. Because there's nothing worse than being bottom of the league and not winning week after week, and it's just inevitable when it's going to happen.
Yeah. I think they made some really big mistakes. I think Reed Brewster going there at the start of the season, it was a terrible move for not only him, but the club. Like, you think how much money they spent on him, and he just does not fit their shape and he never plays.
Yeah,
They've just made some really bad business decisions as well as football decisions this season. And I think going down to the Championship would be good for players like him.
no, I totally agree.
So do you think, obviously we've talked about the promotion in the Championship, but who do you view as being the teams going down in the Championship?
Oh, I think sadly, as much as I like them, I think Wickham are going to go down.
Yeah.
Um, Wickham, they've done so well to come up, and I think they've noticed that the championships are hard league. It's a tough league. Sheffield. Well, it's so close at the bottom. You've got Sheffield Wednesday. We've got two games and one game in Hanover, Birmingham, Coventry. Rotherham got two games in Hanover, Birmingham, Coventry. So I don't know. I think the Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, Wickham. I think that is the bottom three. I think that will be the three that go down. But
Yeah.
you never know with the championship. You still got another. Well, some got 13 games to play. Some people got 14. So there's a lot of football to be played. But I think that will be the bottom three.
Yeah, I'd agree with you in that one. I think there's not much change going to be there. Like you said, I like Wickham as well. And I think it is a shame to see them go down. Players like Akinfenwa is obviously a fan favourite of everyone.
Yes.
To see him go down, it would be sad because you saw how happy those players were when they went up in that. Was it the playoff they went up in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you saw all the post match and they're just some of them crying and stuff like that with joy. It's sad to see a team like that not be the success that they know they can be.
yeah, exactly. And they've done well in the League One over the few years. Built themselves. Me and my mate went to see Wickham 2 years ago, and they played Cheltenham. 4-3, I think it finished was. It was a great game to watch, um, and from that they were doing well. Well, they went 3-3, went up to 3-3, and I think they won 4-3. But yeah, they got a good base there. Good manager. But it's the championship, isn't it? There's
Yeah,
a lot of good teams in our championship.
yeah, that's what it really comes down to. Yeah, I think we've covered everything we were going to talk about, so I think that's it's been a pretty good episode. So anything you have left to say, or
Final one, Leeds Villa. What's your verdict? They kicked off now, but
Leeds victory? I hate Aston Villa. Not the biggest fan of Leeds, but I like Marcelo Bielsa and I like Patrick Bamford, so I think Leeds will do it. Obviously, you've got Jack Grealish is still out, I think, so
yeah,
I don't think they're much without him. Obviously, John McGinn's the best player on the team, but I think they'll miss that creative spark in the game. I just can't see them beating Leeds. What about yourself?
no, I agree. Last week, Villa they couldn't create nothing with Jack Grealish last week. Just couldn't create nothing. And it's going to be the same again. So Leeds are very good, very compact in midfield. So yeah, I agree. I think Leeds will nick it.
Yeah. What do you think of Leeds this season, actually? Do you think they're going to be a mainstay in the Premier League again?
I don't think they'll be a mainstay. I think I think that this obviously safe this year. I don't think they'll go down, but they got to build on it, and they need money to for more money in to buy some players that will help them build on what they got. So I can't see him being, but I can see him being in the Premier League for at least another 2 or 3 seasons. But they got to recruit wisely and build on it.
Yeah, definitely. Do you reckon they'll keep Bielsa?
Needs to learn the English language first before they keep him.
I need to learn the Yorkshire language first.
Well, yeah, as well. But I think they'll keep. He's what he's done. So they got no reason to go rid of him. The only reason, if they do sack him, is if they're bottom and they need a change. But I can't see him going anywhere.
There's talks that he'll leave on his own accord, and that they're planning for it. So possibly you could see him leaving his contract up.
Right. Well, if he leaves, then that's his choice. But I can't see Leeds sacking him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a fantastic manager, and hopefully they can keep on him and he can recruit like in a smart way, maybe duplicate the success that he had at Bilbao, and just try and get the team going.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, so it's been a good show. It was great to get it started up. Probably not the most polished, but
no. But next time, hopefully, we can go live on YouTube and we can brush it up a bit more. Yeah,
definitely. It's good talking to you. I need to get and see what the score is for the Wales game.
Yes, I'm going to go have a beer now.
Well, it's good talking to you, and I shall see you all later.
Yeah, cheers, guys.